You're logged on to UStreamRadio.com, bringing you the finest independent music and urban talk radio. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get this thing going.
We are talking about the father who beat his daughter with the belt. It was a disturbing video that's been going around the internet, and it's disturbing for many reasons. First, let me get, this thing's got me all discombobulated. Let me get this out of the way. Here at UStreamRadio.com, where we are celebrating over 3 million listeners and viewers to our shows. With that being said, you can check out the Diamond K Show daily here at UStreamRadio.com and our various internet partners. Now, I want to get back to this guy, this father who felt the need to beat his daughter with a belt. And not only did he beat the daughter with the belt, but they videotaped it. Someone taped it with, some type of a device for others to see. Now, I come from the era where kids got beat. I support beating a child when it is necessary. So what we have to determine here is whether it was necessary, and it could have been necessary. I think that you can go overboard, and I think that the father went overboard. He was pulling her hair, hitting her with the belt, calling her all types of names. This sends the wrong message. Now, of course, we're not privy to the information as to every bit of what happened. We were able to only see just a small part of it. But my thing is this type of discipline and the attitude of the parent could have aided in the running away, quite possibly. I don't know. I mean, I disagree with my mother about this, and she didn't agree with what I was saying. And a lot of people may not, but just for a man to beat a girl, I know she was 13. I understand she had on a small dress. I get all of that. She ran away. She was being grown and all that kind of stuff. And maybe she did need to be beat, but did she need it to be videotaped? Did it need to be posted? Did he need to be pulling her by the hair in that manner? Did he need to do it outside? Did he have to disrespect the little girl in that way? And is he, by his actions, sending her potentially to marry and date a man who treats her the same exact way? That's what I think he's doing. But, what do I know? I'm not a parent, right? So I don't know anything. Let me bring somebody on the line. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Pebbles calling.
Hey, Pebbles, I don't even have the applause ready for you. So you know what we're talking about, and we've talked about this. So give me your thoughts on the gentleman, or we can call him that, the guy who beat his daughter with the belt. She had the little black dress on. What were your thoughts on that video?
Well, I hadn't seen the actual footage until maybe 2 hours ago.
Okay.
It was entirely too much. As he was
when you saw it, did you have volume?
Yes.
Okay.
So therefore, I heard him calling her a hoe and.
He called her a whore.
Minute. Well, whatever. Whore, any of those names was too much. And then to put it in social media, because he's saying, put this on Facebook. Why? Now, from my understanding, she ran away. So if he thinks that him beating her with this belt is not going to make her run away and stay away, he is completely crazy.
Right. It would make me do that. It would make me do that if I was her. Next time I need to stay gone or go a little further. A lot of mixed reviews I've been seeing about people speaking about this. Some people have said that it was child abuse. She's 13. I don't know how old he is. But I think it's fair for us to say he's at least 30. So, but go ahead.
So was he pulling her? This is what I really couldn't see because I looked at it.
Yeah, he's pulling her hair.
I couldn't tell whether he was holding her hair and beating her with the belt. That's just too much.
He's doing a little bit of both. He's doing a little bit of both. I just think that it sends. I think it sends the wrong message. A lot of people commenting about this on Facebook when you posted it, but one guy says that he doesn't think that it was too much, and that we don't know all the circumstances, and he is for whatever needs to be done to keep the kid out of the streets. Does this keep the kid out the streets?
No. Not at all. It will not. It won't do that. And I remember now when I was younger, I'm not going to say I never had a beating. Trust me, I did. But my father was never able to beat me either. Only my mother. And that's normally because the man, his strength is a whole lot. I mean, it's just too much. The way he was beating her was like she was an animal.
This didn't seem like his child. This didn't seem like, that's not the way. And I understand getting mad at your child and all of that stuff, but get to the point where you hit your offspring like that. He literally treated her like she was somebody out in the street. To me,
I agree, and it looks like I'm sure she has bruises.
Yeah, definitely.
So
another guy on Facebook, Island Boy, who has a daughter, by the way. He said that the guy beat her ass with the belt because she deserved it. She wanted to dress like a grown-ass woman, and he treated her like one. How do you feel about that statement?
He doesn't deserve to be a father of a daughter.
He has a daughter.
That is absurd. Wait a minute. So because, now she was dead wrong. I don't agree with the dressing the way she was.
Right.
But beating her with the belt is not going to stop that. It's something she's missing. Maybe she needs a mentor, or she needs someone to talk to, other than being beaten. That's not going to work. She needs to understand her self-worth. She's only 13.
Well, my thing is that, is there a problem when people think that that's the way you treat a woman?
Definitely, that's a problem.
That's like the deeper issue, because that's some of the things that, that's kind of paraphrasing what the guy was saying about, you want to be grown, and something about Beyonce, some other foolishness. But, it's not only guys. Myra said that he beat her with the belt for staying out for 3 days and dressing like she was 25 instead of 13. Let mine try and do something like that, and I'm going to do it for the vine. She is beyond taking the TV and the phone away. I don't agree with the name-calling part, but an old-fashioned whipping is not child abuse.
That's what they say, but what happens, and this does happen, what happens when the child fights you back?
Right.
Because that can be another result of what's going on with this belt. I've read, and I'm sure you have in the news, where a child has killed their parent.
Definitely.
I just saw the update about the girl who tried to hire her friend to kill her father or something. Like, they get fed up. I'm sure they do. I don't think that's always the answer. You don't have to beat your child to correct him. Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to beat your child with a belt or anything to correct him.
Wow. I mean, it's crazy. I think that, assuming, and I think it's fair to say that's not the first time he beat her. So she knows how he is. She knew what was waiting for her on the other side, so to speak, whenever she got home, or however they were able to catch up with her. So she knew that was going to happen. I think that, and then sometimes, as children, we did things and we knew that there were going to be consequences for it, and we kind of just dealt with it, when the consequences came. And I think we all have been guilty of that. But I think the bigger issue here is that this type of behavior from her father over the years and however many more years that she's going to be living with him, is this sending a message to her subconscious that this is the way she's supposed to be treated as she becomes an adult?
Now, that is definitely possible, and most times in those abusive relationships, you'll hear the woman say, that they went through abuse, had beatings or whatever. But if your father is beating you now, and then when you get with a man who does the same thing, then you end up thinking, oh, well, this must be okay to do.
Right. Right.
I've seen that. I won't say the person's name, but I know that when she was in this abusive relationship, it took her years to leave because she kept saying, oh, it's okay because my father used to smack my mother around when she didn't do what he told her to do. That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
when you're abused, I'm going to pray for the child.
Now, let's assume for conversation purposes that the girl was a little boy, right? Everything else is same. We see the boy. He ran away. All that kind of stuff. He's holding them some kind of way by the head and hitting them, calling them, names that are, that equal out for a boy. Would we feel the same way?
It's still abuse to me.
Yeah.
Instead of him doing that, he needs to get to the root of the problem. Why did my child run away?
Right.
Because it can happen again.
Right.
And most likely it will.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that the girl didn't deserve a beating. I just think that it was excessive. I think that everybody didn't need to see it. And I think that it didn't need to be accompanied by the name calling and the hair pulling and the posting on the internet.
People put too much of their business on the internet.
Yeah. And this is embarrassing for her. I'm very sure that some of her friends, saw this. And what kind of effect does that have on her? And I know some of the listeners are going to say that's what she gets. She should have thought about that before, and that whole thing. But
this video follows bullying because that's what's going to happen. They're going to be teasing her. Your father did this, and that's what comes after that.
Yeah. Another girl, Jackie, said that she doesn't think that he took it too far. She went missing for 3 days dressed like a grown woman. Imagine what her family went through not knowing where she was, whether she was dead, whether she was alive, but she was somewhere being too damn grown. Today's society with these kids is screwed up. That's why some of them are in jail or dead. When we were growing up, it was nothing wrong with ass whippings. Now it's a problem. What are your thoughts on that?
It was a problem when we were growing up.
You said it was or it wasn't?
It was. It's just people were not speaking out about it. So it's a little different now. Everybody voices their opinion. It wasn't like that before. Sometimes, now listen, I have gotten a beat.
Right.
And wish I had done what I was supposed to do to the point that I couldn't sit down.
Right.
Why? Because, and it wasn't I went out and stayed overnight. I just stayed past my church time. And I had a problem with my mouth, with that back talking. So that resulted in me getting a beating with a belt. So, yes, I am a product of a beating with a belt. But do I beat my children with the belt? Now, had that been my daughter is 15, but had it been her, I want to talk to her first. Because trust and believe, she's not opening up to him as to why she ran away for those 3 days. You just beat me. I don't have anything to say to you. She's not going to be open with him, so you don't know what's going on now.
That might get you beat again.
Yeah, well, that'll get her to running away again. Kids know nowadays they can call the police.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I just think that, I don't know why it just seems different to me now. Maybe the amount of smacks, I don't know. I just think that, I think there's another way, and I think that beating girls, I don't know. I don't know whether it's my view on this subject is starting to change. I think quite possibly it's an age thing. I think maybe at a certain age you have to implement a different type of a strategy. But like I said, I've said many times before, I am for beating or some type of
beating.
Corporal punishment. I know. It's just, I don't know, right. And the more that I speak about it, the more I think that my view on it is changing. But because I don't think that what happened to, and I can't speak for everybody, but I don't think what happened to me as a child when I did something wrong was, child abuse. I mean, getting hit with the belt at that time period, of course, when we were coming up, this wasn't, we weren't in a social media era. But if one of your beatings had been taped, right, and posted, do you think that it would have gotten the same type of reaction that this one is getting?
No. It was nothing like that. Because my mother could take 1 or 2 hits with that belt, and I couldn't sit down.
And that's it, so, right. 1 or 2, right.
It took me 2 beatings with the belt to get myself together. Because I didn't want to feel that anymore.
Right, and I think that's a big part of it, the amount of hits that happens. I think that's a big part of it. 15 or 20, I think is too much.
He was going.
Yeah, and I would say she got hit about 15 times that we saw. Now, if the same video,
when they started recording, because that is not the full incident.
Oh, definitely. If we saw that video and he hit her 3 times, would you feel that it was too much? Right.
Had he not been grabbing her head and called out her name just to hit her 3 times with that belt? No, but I can promise you, he beat her more when she got home because he told her to get in the car. So I'm sure it was more once she got home.
Yeah, so this is the thing. She wasn't even on her way home, more than likely. They just was riding around and happened to see her. So,
wow.
Maybe it would have been better if he had on sweatpants that day. Yeah. But of course, these are our views. And that means that they're right, of course. But I think that it's unfortunate that we are at a point that people disagree on this issue so much. I'm more so a fan of when you have to discipline a child, doing it earlier so you don't have to do it later. Because when the child is older, then you enter a whole nother space. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I look at it. What are your final thoughts on this?
I agree. Bottom line is the man, he was entirely too rough with her with the beating and the name calling, and I look forward to seeing them in the news again because she will run away again. I'm saying she will run away again. And if he beat her again, she might even call 911. If she has to go to school, there's going to be a social worker.
And I know I said we were going to close it out, and I see people in the chat room, and I'm sorry I didn't bring any other calls on, but do you remember the girl who was dancing in the house and the father came home?
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
Did he go to jail, if I remember correctly? He did?
I believe he did get locked up. I don't know
what
happened after that.
What was the difference between that situation and this, or is there no difference other than the fact that, they were outside and inside the house?
Of course, this is my opinion. There is no difference to me.
Right.
As I'm telling you, I'm standing by. I don't believe a father should, physically do anything to his daughter. I don't think a man should beat his daughter at all. And right. That's only because of the way that I was raised. Other people may think something else.
I don't. Now, last on this topic, if that had been a mother beating the girl like that, calling her the names, everything the same way, but it had been the mother instead of the father, what would your feelings be on it then?
She still did wrong. You know, it is a video out with the mother who was like fighting her daughter like she was some chick in the street.
Right.
That's going around on Facebook too. That's just totally wrong. You're not beating your child. You're not disciplining your child. You're now fighting.
And like you said, like someone on the street. Right.
Exactly. Like a stranger.
Right. Very unfortunate. And I'm sure that this is definitely not the last of these type of incidents, unfortunately. So I don't know. I just think that we can do better than this. I think that you have to establish the fear, and you have to establish the ability for the child to think and make the best decisions early. I don't think you can beat it into them when they're teenagers. If it's not already there, it's very difficult to do that. But I don't think that beating it into the girl is the way. So, you know, we definitely have to come together and find a better way to handle this situation.
I agree.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And, of course, I will see you on Thursday for the Scandal Thursdays.
Indeed.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're going to have to figure out who got shot.
Who got shot? Who got you?
Right. How about that? All right. Thank you.
If you're listening to us on iTunes or Stitcher Radio, please take a moment to give us a 5-star rating or review. We love the feedback. If you're on YouTube, click the like button. Here at Ustream Radio, we bring you exciting programming absolutely free of charge. Log on to ustreamradio.com today. Thank you for listening, y'all.